So it is my pleasure now to introduce our panelists, and to my right is Pastor Stephen Broden. He is pastor of Fair Park Bible Fellowship Church, a conservative activist, and a political commentator. And to his right is Lieutenant Colonel Allen West, retired, and our newly elected Texas Republican Party chairman. Thrilled to have you. And then also joining our panel is Ryder Ansell, and he's stepping in tonight. He is the producer of the film, and yes, bravo. And unfortunately, Justin Malone, who's the filmmaker and director, is not able to be with us, and I think Ryder's going to tell us what project.
Well, I can't disclose that entirely, but he's out getting our next film made right now, so okay. I'm stepping in.
Okay, good. And then my friend, Eugene Ralph, who's a conservative activist and a transplant from New Orleans. And then, last but not least, is Chad Jackson, who is our Mansfield plumbing contractor and star of the film. So we are delighted to have you gentlemen here tonight. Thank you so much. And so I'm going to direct this question to you, Ryder, because I think it's what we're all very eager to know, because for those of you who don't know who Justin is, Justin, well, I'm just going to say it. He's a white gentleman, just like Ryder is. So how in the world did this whole film come about, and the relationship with Larry Elder? So give us some background on how all this got started.
Well, we were doing a film, it was a documentary about a Harlem basketball player who grew up in the 50s into the 60s, or late 50s into the 60s, and then in the early 70s he was drafted to the NBA. He was the first guy to ever be drafted without finishing high school, and he turned it down. And then this whole story precluded, and then we were really digging into the life of Harlem. And what happened was we started watching these archival videos where we noticed this change, this very distinct change. And we had went on this one shoot where we interviewed these people who were in their 70s, and they talked about it. One of the things that lingers the most is this man named Bobby said that when he realized that things were gone is when they couldn't hang their clothes on the clotheslines anymore. And so we really started looking at that, and the fatherhood aspect really presented itself. And then after that, Justin had always had this thought of when Herman Cain was running against Obama in the second term, and he was in an interview with Chris O'Donnell, and Chris O'Donnell basically chastised Herman Cain for going to school. He said, well, if everyone went to school like you and didn't protest, then where do you think black people would be? And he always communicated that to me, like, can you imagine the audacity of someone being able to talk to a person like that, and the just blatant racism that he was able to protrude against Herman Cain. So those were two of the main things, and then so we knew that we wanted to do this, and so we started local in Dallas, and we just wanted to reach out to any local black Republicans. We interviewed a gentleman named Taft Thompson, we emailed a gentleman named Taft Thompson, and he put us in touch with actually Eugene, with Pastor, and with Chad. And those were our first interviews, and really when we walked away from those interviews, we realized that we were onto something. And so we compiled those interviews and eventually took those out. And Larry was just an interview subject, and we interviewed him and then came back. We had done Larry and Jesse when we went out to LA, and then we came back with a 12-minute cut for each one of those gentlemen with everyone else's opinions intertwined. And then Larry wanted to get involved, and he helped us raise the funds, and he was the one who was able to get us access to people like Colonel, to people like Carol Swain, to people like Candace Owens, and we've really just been rolling from there.